What's going on today there, YouTube? Well, got a farm toy related video for you today. I'm going to do a video on some customizing tips for you guys just starting out customizing farm toys and whatnot, and cover some of the basics, maybe some kind of tools, some ideas, just basic stuff to kind of get the ball rolling, and you guys can feed off of that, and you guys can also maybe learn something. This is mostly for the beginner guys, the guys that are expert builders, of course you can put your input into, because there'll probably be stuff I'll miss. So check this out. Alright, so I grabbed a little tractor out of the cabinets there, just something to demonstrate on. I'm not going to actually cut anything up tonight, I don't think. I don't want to start any project just yet. But some of the tools you guys could invest in, or if you're looking to get into doing a lot of stuff, here's a few simple things that you guys can have. You probably even have some of the stuff laying around your house. So first of all, say you want to take this tractor all apart here. Oops. Say you want to take this tractor apart. You gotta take the wheels off, and say you want to split this casting. Well, you can take I like to use a Dremel tool because, well, it's quick, it's easy, and you got a little cut off disc on. Of course, there's multi-millions of little attachments you can get to these tools. So they're very versatile, and they're not too expensive. I got this one for Christmas a couple years ago. It comes in very handy. I built a lot of tractors with it. A good set of drill bits and a drill comes in handy. So say you want to drill this rivet out, if you don't want to cut it and risk damaging the casting, but if you're going to narrow the casting, the cutoff disc works very good. Say you want to take the loader off, something like that, you can get the cutoff disc down in there and cut the rivets off. But if you don't have a Dremel tool, you can always use the good old hacksaw. I've used that for a number of years as well, before I got my Dremel tool actually. And say you wanted to fill this casting seam in here, you can go ahead and, once you got the tractor stripped and you want to sand all the paint off, make it nice and smooth, you can take some JB Weld, and I've used a lot of JB Weld in my tractor hood seams, filling the hood seams. And see, after you split a tractor and trying to put it back together, of course these rivets are going to be gone. Then you can take in, I use a piece of copper wire or a piece of wire, come in here with make your axle, and you can of course make the axle stick out past your wheel a little bit, or however long you'd like to have the axle. And always make sure you have a file and square off your axle ends, because there's nothing looks worse than like a spear looking axle. And of course you can use a Sharpie marker to color those in black if you're kind of impatient, don't like waiting for paint to dry. I've used lots of Sharpie markers over my days. Of course I don't have one on hand now to do my video with. I think I left it out in my shed. And this stuff works really good for putting tractors back together. Super glue. You can hold on little parts and your mirrors, your flashers, all kinds of stuff. So this is really good stuff to use, or like a Gorilla Glue or something along those lines. Then I'll get into why you need an X-Acto knife here in a minute. Another thing, if you wanted to detail your oil filters, if you say you got a international tractor and you have white oil filters, you can use whiteout if you don't have paint. Of course I use paint because I have white touch-up paint for my truck, so that's the easiest stuff to use. This stuff here is just kind of more advanced, kind of getting into scratch making kind of stuff. This is what they call styrene. Don't mind the little chunks of brass. I'll get into the brass side of it in a minute. These are just molded pieces of plastic. It's really easy to cut, and you can cut them with an X-Acto knife real easily. So you can get your channel, you got round tubing, flat lengths, you can get sheets of it, which I used to have. I'm not quite sure where those are right this minute, but I think I'm gonna do a project out of styrene, and I might even start that here in a little while. I got a project in mind. I'm not just gonna say what it is just yet. Of course there's several little tricks to working on these little toy tractors. You'll learn as you go, but I thought I'd just cover some of the basic stuff. And of course if you want to build exhaust pipes or axles, good chunks of wire work. If you got copper wire, you can use any kind of wire really. I find 3/32 wires about the right gauge for an axle. Looks pretty good for an exhaust stack too, but it all depends what you're working on really. Well, that's just a few little tips and tricks you guys can use to say take a tractor apart, or if you want to detail a tractor up, I can do a more in-depth video, of course, anytime. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you guys a few little basic tools and whatnot for customizing farm tires. Anyway, if you guys want to send in a farm toy for the greatest farm toy collection on YouTube, I'd be happy to give you a big shout out on my YouTube channel. It can be anything, a farm, tractor, combine, piece of equipment, 116, 164, still anything. It's completely up to my fans. See you guys on the next one.